So let's talk about the Miami Heat and the expectations for this regular season. Now they come into the season with not a lot of expectations. They're expected to be in the play-in game or an 8 seed, and that's about it. But of course, when it comes to Heat culture, they want to prove people wrong because you still have Jimmy Butler, you've got Bam Adebayo, you drafted Kel'el Ware, who's my pick to win Rookie of the Year. I know there's other guys out there that they're choosing over Ware. I just think his impact on defense, the way he can protect the rim, the way he can catch those lob dunks, and if he has some type of three-point shot and he is able to impact the game offensively, that Miami Heat will be a scary team and hard team to deal with this upcoming season. And the reason why the Miami Heat feel slighted is because they made 2 NBA finals in the past 4 years. I know they didn't win those, but they played the Lakers and the Nuggets, who were unstoppable. If you look at the Lakers roster, they had Rajon Rondo, Caruso in their backcourt. You had to deal with LeBron James and Kuzma. On top of that, their front court was JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard. Good luck beating them. They weren't knocking out the Lakers. And then you had to play Jokic in his prime years, and you weren't beating Denver last year. The way they were running that offense, they were just humming on all cylinders. So for Miami, they could look at it and go, we didn't have enough talent, and if we get the right matchup in the NBA Finals, we got a great shot if they can get there. So it's understandable why guys like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo feel that way. Looking at the roster itself, I love the pickup of Kel'el Ware. I'm really high on him. I think he has a great shot of winning Rookie of the Year, even though people don't have him in that competition, which I think he should be in the conversation because if you look at his summer league performance, you look at the game against the Hornets, he was blocking everything out there. He can catch lob dunks. If he has a consistent offensive game where he can stretch the floor, even a mid-range game or a three-point shot where he can knock it down consistently, all of a sudden Miami's offense is instantly better. And you look at playing next to Bam Adebayo, he's going to benefit playing next to Bam. Their defense could be a top 5 defense this year because those two guys are going to be clogging the lane, blocking shots, or disrupting shots. So that's one thing I'm really intrigued by when it comes to Kel'el Ware. Another guy I look at is Jaime Jaquez. What is his ceiling in the NBA? Is he a borderline all-star player, like a Derek White prototype? Or is he a role player? Nothing wrong with that. Or is he a consistent all-star player year in and year out, where he's a top 15, top 20 guy in the NBA? What is his ceiling? So we don't know that yet. Obviously, he's a really solid player right now. We can do a lot of different things. If Jaime Jaquez takes another leap on his offense, he continues to get better on defense, and he makes an impact where Miami's offensive rating goes from 21st to maybe 15th, and he's a part of that growth. All of a sudden, you're looking at this team going, they are going to be hard to deal with. I think one of the keys for the Heat going into this regular season is establishing some dominance against teams like the Pacers and the Magic because, yes, they just had their first taste of playoff experience, but Miami has been doing this for a very long time. So if you want to be talked about in the same conversations as the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Sixers and the Knicks, well, you got to establish dominance against those lower tier teams. And if you do that, all of a sudden you only have to worry about Philly and Milwaukee, Boston, and New York. You know you can beat those teams. You've done that in the past. So I think it's important for Miami to focus on just establishing their presence because playing Orlando and Indiana are not easy victories anymore, right? So I think Miami has to come into the regular season and establish some early dominance against those teams because if you do that, now you look at the roster going, should we trade somebody else to add more talent or should we just keep building around this roster? Another interesting development is Bam Adebayo's three-point shooting. He's been working on it this offseason. Spo wants him taking a variety of different attempts where he goes from 2 a game to 5 to 7 games. If he can develop a three-point shot where he's shooting 37% from 3, maybe 2 or 3 attempts a game, obviously that helps with floor spacing. It opens up lanes for Jimmy Butler and Kel'el Ware to get easy lob dunks. So I'm very curious to see how that gets developed and if Bam does take another leap. I already think he's a lead on defense. I think him and Ware are going to be very hard to deal with because if they have great chemistry and Ware is feeding off Bam and Bam can play more of the 4, we can switch 1 through 4 and Ware's covering the rim, Miami's defense is going to be a top 5 in the league, in my opinion. And to address another elephant in the room is Jimmy Butler's future with the Miami Heat. We saw the back and forth between him and Pat Riley where Jimmy Butler had come out and said, if I was playing in that Celtics series, we would have won, no doubt about it. Pat Riley responded and said, be quiet, stop talking, because at the end of the day, you were not in that series. So just keep your mouth shut. I wonder what the relationship is like going forward. Let's just say Miami goes through some adversity where they don't establish dominance early in the season. During that play-in situation come January, do you trade Jimmy Butler because you don't want him walking for nothing? I know that's a tough situation, but if Miami's at the trade deadline and they're not in that situation where they're at top 5, top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, they're going to look and go, we need to get something back for Jimmy Butler. Otherwise, he's going to walk. And if the chemistry between him and Pat Riley goes south very quickly, I think they will trade him because we know Pat Riley is a no-nonsense guy. We know the relationship he had with LeBron, but he said, you know what, you're not bigger than my organization. And he let LeBron walk from Miami. I think he'll do the same thing with Jimmy Butler. If Jimmy Butler doesn't get on board, he's going to say, peace, Jimmy, go somewhere else. And he'll just trade him. So I am very interested to see if that's going to work out and if Jimmy Butler's going to stick around. We'll see. There's rumors about the Golden State Warriors trading for Jimmy Butler. So I'm very intrigued by how that all plays out this regular season. We also can't forget about Terry Rozier because he came to Miami last year before he got hurt to help elevate this offense so they're not at the bottom of the league. So if he has a role, if he can get used to the system and he's very consistent, I know he struggled coming to Miami, but I think a lot of that had to do with just adjusting to how Miami wants to play basketball. I know he had that injury. So if he comes in this season and their offense gets better out the gates, he's given him scoring punch. He's able to hit his three-point shot consistently, get to the rim. All of a sudden, you have another weapon out there from Miami. Now, you look at the situation and go, okay, we have Terry Rozier, we have Jimmy Butler, we have Kel'el, and we have Bam Adebayo. Is that enough to make a run to the NBA Finals and win it? Because the biggest thing I've been saying about the Miami Heat is lack of talent. You look at the series against the Lakers. Who were the best players in that series? LeBron and AD, and I would say Jimmy Butler. I know Jimmy had a great series, but I think AD and LeBron were better. You look at the series against the Nuggets. Who was the best player in that series? Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, and you could put Jimmy third. I know Jimmy had a great playoff run, but what I'm saying is talent-wise, there's a gap. You look at the Miami Heat teams in the past where they went to the NBA Finals. Who were the best players in that series? LeBron most of the time, and Dwayne Wade. Actually, LeBron was the best player every time. I know they lost to the Spurs and they lost to the Mavericks, but LeBron was the best player in those series. So I think there's a talent gap right now with the Heat. I'm not saying they're a bad basketball team, but if they go up against a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, if they go up against the Dallas Mavericks, are you taking Luka or Jimmy Butler right now? You're taking Luka. Are you taking Jimmy Butler or you're taking SGA? You're taking SGA. So I think there's a gap right now with their talent, but if they meet a team, let's just say the Suns make the finals, or let's say the Nuggets make it, or the Timberwolves make it, I think they match up well with those teams because talent for talent. I know Anthony Edwards would be better than Jimmy, but it won't be a huge gap. So that's the main concern I have with this roster is just a gap in talent. I do expect them to be fighting for the playing game. Now, could they reach a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference? Yes, they can. That would not surprise me. I just think there's too many factors with the Jimmy Butler situation where Pat Riley is going to assert his authority and say, you know what, Jimmy, I've had enough. We're moving off of you. And I think Miami's going to head into a mini rebuild and start over and build around Ware and Bam Adebayo. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Love to hear your thoughts on what you expect out of the Miami Heat this upcoming season. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.